halfway through the 2021 season, and what we want to know is which new drivers that came out this year are dropping in price fast. Guys, how you doing? Welcome back to a brand new video. Simon down here at Sanford Springs Golf Club. Let's talk deals, discounts, just like we normally do. The new 2021 drivers have been out. A lot of them have been tested. A lot of them are now being sold off, used, unused, and which ones are now dropping in price the fastest, so that if you were thinking potentially of dabbling in the new shinier models, which ones can you grab and at what discount can you grab them at?
Jambo and the Cobra Speed Zone driver own the longest driving average in the history of the PGA Tour.
So let's start with the most talked about manufacturer over the last couple of weeks, especially with Bryson's comments, Cobra. Has it had an effect on the equipment itself? Are people now turning away from it? Even though it's been one of the most popular brands over the last 3 years, and I'll still say it will be, mainly because of the price point. The F9, the Speed Zone, all coming out at $350 against their competitors. We've even seen pullback from the competitors over the last couple of years so that they don't lose as much market share that Cobra took over back in 2019. The RADSPEED itself, however, will always be cheaper second hand, which is great news for you and I, because the retail price is readily available at $369 with the RADSPEED. We're looking at bids coming in around $260 to $270, but sold listings is where we want to have a look. What are people actually buying this for or selling it for, more importantly? You're below $270 brand new option, $299, one bid, $275, $280, $260, $275, $255. This is back in 23rd of July, so only last week now we're talking. $225, mate, he's gone absolute steal there. So looking at the information, we're going to value the Cobra RADSPEED currently at the moment at £260, which, looking at the older stock, we're talking the Speed Zone and the F9, basically holding their own at the 200 plus mark anyway. It wouldn't necessarily be a bad option for you guys to go down. You buy RADSPEED in very good condition, and after 2 years of playing with it, it looks like you're only going to lose £40 to £50, and in terms of a return on investment, as well as getting a very good looking up-to-date modern driver, that doesn't seem too bad at all. Next up, we have the most expensive driver to hit retail this year, and that is the Callaway Epic Speed. Have to say, in terms of recently sold listings of the Epic Flash and the Maverick, going around the £200 mark is the most least performing second-hand driver that is brought out by the big boys. That's the one thing that I'm slightly concerned about you guys buying a Callaway product at full retail, is that if you don't get on with it in a year, half a year, 3 months, you've lost potentially 50% of the value of that current driver. That being said, let's see what there's being sold for halfway through the year. 330, 349, these are all drivers currently at the moment buy it now price, so we're even talking more of a discount than the Cobra RADSPEED, but you have to factor in the fact that this is what a brand new RADSPEED would cost, which is always interesting because I don't think you're getting 110, £120 either out of the fitting experience or the actual technology out of the brand itself. You are literally just buying a Callaway product, and that product will lose even more value over the long term. And again, looking at the recently sold, it tells a bit of a similar story. We're looking at 350, 320, 349, 330, 255, but that looks like it's got a different shaft in it, 280, which is incredible to me that you can buy an Epic Speed which has been out less than 4 to 5 months and it's already £200, almost 50% cheaper in some of the areas. So I'm going to give the baseline price of an Epic Speed second hand currently at the moment probably about £300, which makes it 33% off, which is a few more percent than the Cobra. But what I would take into effect is if it goes down the same route as the Epic Flash and the Maverick, in a year's time all Epic Speed heads will be around that £200 to £220 mark. Now up next we have the biggest brand in golf, especially when it comes to a tour bill, and that is Taylormade. $399 is what the Sim 2 has come out of retail, so bang in the middle of the Cobra and the Callaway Epic Speed. And in terms of pricing of Taylormade drivers, especially over the last 2 years in pandemic, if anything, you probably gained money on your second-hand equipment. It holds extremely strong, and the same could be said for the brand and the Sim 2 that's come out this year. It's sought after, people are looking for it. And again, you can be able to sell these or buy these brand new second hand, not that far off from its actual recommended retail. And when we look at the sold listings, it just confirms that, i.e. Taylormade, you could go and get fitted for this driver, and if it doesn't work out, you're going to get a decent amount of money back. Therefore, you can try a new product for this year, get the fitting experience, X, Y, and Z. And looking at the sold listings, this driver's going for 320, 310, 330, 290 just for a head, so you even get to keep your shaft. So I'm going to value the Sim 2 at 320 pre-owned, giving it essentially 20% off if you were to go and buy a brand new one, try it, test it, and if you didn't like it, you're losing 80 to 70 pounds, which for a brand new driver, especially in today's market or previous years, that's not a bad return on your club itself, and actually does give some kind of insurance that the amount of demand is heavily out there. Moving on to one of the giants of the last 2 years in terms of value, Ping. Ping, anything slapped onto it over the last 2 years, old, new, has risen in value. There's a lot of trust and faith in the brand for new or old product, and it doesn't surprise me that the Ping G425 is getting the same amount of love. This driver retails again as the Sim at 399, and looking at sold listings, it's very comfortable to see. You can see there, Golf Clubs for Cash selling it at 359 pre-owned, and again multiple listings, 330, 335, Dave in his basement getting 320. Again, similar story to the Taylormade. Both of these drivers, Ping probably edging Taylormade in terms of not losing as much, means that you can go and get tested these new clubs, try them, sim, whatever, in the simulator I should say, and if they weren't for you, firstly, you probably should question your golf swing, but secondly, if you for whatever reason didn't like that driver, you would be able to get the majority of your money back on the second-hand market. And again, for me, it just takes a lot of the pressure off you guys spending 450 pounds on a piece of equipment, and then when it doesn't work, you don't get so stressed about the fact that you've wasted 400 odd pounds. Actually, you've only wasted 60, and in the grand scheme of things, how much we actually play this game, that's not necessarily the worst loss. Hold the phone, I made a mistake. The most expensive driver in this list at retail is the Titleist TSI series, which is staggering considering the other options on this list. $499 for a driver in 2021, when there's drivers over the last 5 years that are going to be marginal in terms of gains, forgiveness, everything else, is impressive. You'd have to be a massive Titleist fan through and through to go down that option in my eyes. Similar story to the Callaway Epic Speed. The higher the retail, the more it's going to tumble, especially when it comes down to the second-hand market. As you can see, have a look at the pre-owned market. We're looking at 330, 310. The Taylormade and the Ping are actually selling for more on average than a driver that's £100 in terms of market retail than them, which is staggering. 359, again, I don't know how that guy got one for 214. That's what dreams are made of. 360, 385, the further we go back, 330, 380, 390, 299. It does really vary, which makes it very interesting. Again, I think in terms of Titleist as a brand, as I've seen with the 917 and the TS series, the one before this, Titleist drivers haven't held their value as well as Ping and Taylormade. So my advice would be, it's a phenomenal brand, it's a great looking brand, it's one of the biggest brands in the world, but make sure if you're spending $499 on a driver, that is going to be the driver for you over the next 5 to 7 years. Don't get jitters with it and then feel like you have to sell it on, because you're going to lose a lot more money with that brand than you would with potentially Cobra, Ping and Taylormade. So guys, there you have it. There's my list, top 5 drivers, biggest losers and also biggest winners, which is actually surprising. I didn't realise how well Taylormade and Ping are holding their value currently at the moment, and Cobra coming in third, even though it's £50 cheaper in terms of retail, which is quite surprising, and potentially some of the words that were used over the last 2 weeks might have actually affected it. Guys, if you wouldn't mind leaving this video a like if you liked it, subscribe if you thought this was helpful. Catch you guys later.